Hello, this is Chris from Northern Garden Supply. Today we're going to show you how to do a quonset style greenhouse. This guy's 15 by 10 foot long, spaced out every 5 foot. Over at northerngardensupply.com you can get all these goods in order to build this greenhouse out. The hoops, the poly, the channel lock. Now we're going to walk you through on step by step on how to put it together once you get it. So our first step is to get your greenhouse square, get it all laid out. We got stakes at all 4 corners here. This particular greenhouse is a 10 by 15, 10 foot long, 15 foot wide at the entry. In order to find our square, to make sure everything's square in the long run, we're going to take the length, which is 10, times it by itself, the opening, which is 15 foot wide, times that by itself, add those two numbers together, and then square root it. For you guys that don't know what a square root is, it's that little check mark on your calculator. Just press that button. It's going to give you your horizontal number from side to side. So for this guy, there's a 5 foot on center. So we're setting a ground tube, which is telescopically larger diameter pipe than the hoop itself would be, every 5 foot on center. What I went ahead and did here with my auger is I augered down a foot. We're setting these guys 1.5 feet into the ground, but I augered out the first foot. We're gonna backfill after that, and we're gonna pound this tube 6 inches into the ground, and that'll ensure that it's straight all the way around. So now we're starting to get our hoops up. We got our ground tubes backfilled, they're straight. What I do is I go 5 inches up on the hoop itself, and I'll put a self-tapping screw that sticks out halfway. That's gonna be your stopper. So now we're gonna grab this hoop, we're gonna slide it in. It's a 2-man job here. And then it slides in this side. So what I did here is you'll measure down 1 inch on your ground tube itself. I'll set a string line. Go to your very farthest hoop away from that. Measure down another inch. Put your string line on there. So this is 1 inch reveal from the top of the string line. So you'll go to all the rest of your hoops, measure down 1 inch, and that's how you'll know that from your front to your back hoop that all your ground tubes are in the same line. You don't have to really get it level. It's up to you if you're working with level ground. I like to get it level. When you're working with a slope piece of ground, just run from your front to your back one and get that line all straight and all your ground tubes at the same height along that line. So we got our ground tubes, our hoops up. The next thing is a top connection bar. It's called purlin. This guy was real easy for us to put up. We just marked center line on the front hoop and the back hoop and put this 1 inch conduit strap with self-tapping screws on either side, and then one through the center once the piece of purlin's up. If you're doing a longer greenhouse, you want to get your purlin straight, take a string line, find the center of your front hoop and your back hoop, and string line from the front to the back hoop. And then that'll tell you where to put your purlin up at. The next part of building out your greenhouse is going to be all your woodwork. This section we're going to put baseboards, we're going to do a back wall and an entryway in the front here. I always start with a baseboard, and to affix the baseboard to your greenhouse itself, I use a piece of plumber's tape and then 2 screws. Come on over here. We're just going to wrap it around each hoop here. And then onto the other side. Easy as that. So now that we got our baseboards affixed to the greenhouse with that plumber's tape, we're going to do our entryway, which is going to be a door that's 4 foot wide. So I found center, strung a string line from each side on the outside of the hoop, and put stakes on the inside of the string line with a 4 foot spacing and centered. On the back side of the greenhouse, I found dead center and put a stake here on the inside of the string line as well. We're gonna auger those out. We're gonna set 4x4s. So now that we got all our holes augered out, we're gonna set our 4x4s in there. our string line is going to be about a ½ an inch away from the post itself. That's going to be the front of our greenhouse. We're going to make sure that this guy is level from side to side, which is in the bubble. Come to the top of the hoop and we're going to mark it out with a pencil. And then we're going to go around to each one of those guys and do it to it. So now we're going to notch out these 4x4s so they fit evenly on the top of that hoop. I got my pre-existing line that we just marked out in the last little segment there. We're going to give her a cut. Flip her on our side like that. We're going to take our speed square or anything that you got that's got a nice sharp angle on it, mark it, flip it all the way over, mark it on that cut that we just did that side, and then we're going to go in between the two marks, make a line, and that's going to be our flat top for the top of the hoop. Nice and flush. Flip her all the way over here, and we're working with an 1 5/8" hoop. So we're gonna measure down 1.5 inches, like this, shoot across, give that guy a cut. Flip it on its side. Go inward 1.5 inches. Make another mark here. And then cut down. Now she's all notched out. She fits right in there perfectly. So we got our baseboard laid in the front here, laid in the back. We're starting to build our back end wall, and it's all based off of this 4x4 here. Baseboards are laid. What we strapped them on with was that plumber's tape again. We're going to use that for the whole situation. So we put an upright. I made this 44 inches tall. You can do it as you please. So we're going to butt this guy up, level her, and then mark it. That's the line we're gonna cut on. So we're all finished up here for the day. We got the back end wall done. I put these guys up about 44 inches from the baseboard, leveled the tops of them, cut them so they fit along the hoop, and then pipe strapped them on. And that's all she wrote for the end wall. So now that we got all our woodwork done, all our hoops up, all our steel, we're gonna focus on the last step, which is putting the channel lock wiggle wire on. For you all that don't know what channel lock and wiggle wire are, this is a C-shaped channel that runs along your baseboard here and along your front and your back hoop, and this wire runs over the top of your plastic once it's on and clicks everything in together. Super easy to use. I won't build a greenhouse without having this guy on there. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna take tech screws, self-tapping Phillips head screws, and we're running about every 10 inches to a foot, so this guy bends along the outer hoops of your greenhouse. So now we can see that we got our channel running on the baseboard there, and then along our exterior hoops, our front hoop, and then our back hoop. What we do is we just butt them right together, self-tap screw all the way down. So now we're gonna do our end walls. On this guy, I chose to do a 6 mil end wall, 6 mil plastic. We run it on the front and we're running it on the back. It's 16 foot wide. We gave ourselves about 6 inches on each side to pull on. This is best done with 2 guys. But you'll start from one side, staple her in, go to the other side, have somebody pulling on that, make sure it has tension there and at the peak, and then you'll staple that side in. And then we're just gonna run across about every foot or so and get it all fastened on. Now I'm gonna take a razor blade. This is our entryway. I just slit right in the center, bring her on down. From the corners, I'm going to do a 45-degree angle down on each side. And then I'm going to slit all the way down on each side, the top here, leaving a reveal of about 2 inches or so. So now we're going to take our stapler, wrap it around, staple that plastic around the inside. We got both of our end walls already covered. The one that's going to go over the length of the structure. I don't unfold it until it's on top of the greenhouse. We'll put it right in the center and fold it down on either side. Just kind of unwrap it and put it to the base of each side. I'll show you when we get it all taken care of. So we're getting our plastic all tight on here. We started down on this side. We just start from one side. I worked it all the way over about halfway. We go on the back side, pull tight, and work your wire all the way back over. So we're starting to run into a little bit of slop here, and this is the beauty of wiggle wire, is just comes right out just like that. And then we can start right on over. And we're gonna pull down on this side here, and we're gonna get her all tight. Put that wire back in. Easy as that. So now that we got the door all framed out, we're gonna take some of the plastic that was actually scrap that we cut off the greenhouse originally after getting her all wrapped up, and we're gonna staple it onto the facade of the door, the front of the door, and wrap around the corners and staple her down to the back side as well, and that'll be our entry. So we got our doorway on here, and the greenhouse is all finished for now. In the future, we're going to put some fans on here and roll up sides. As you can see, I just used a channel here, and I got 2 rollers from Lowe's or Home Depot. Just slides along like that. Easy as that.